Your Majesty. The trial of Michael Taylor is approaching its conclusion. Your Majesty's continuing personal interest in this extraordinary case has afforded me the utmost gratification. I hope to remain to the end a silent observer, but if the verdict should prove a disappointment to the expectations of Your Majesty's government, I'll finish a little later.
But honorable justices of this court, gentlemen of the jury, never in all my experience has there come to my attention a crime of such unmitigated atrocity as the one of which this prisoner is accused. Gentlemen of the jury, our task here today is an exceptional one. This case is without precedent in the history of the law and of the sea. Nothing like it has ever come before any human tribunal. Now, gentlemen, when ordinary land folks such as you and I take passage on a ship at sea, they're as helpless as little children, utterly dependent upon the skill of officers and crew. But this prisoner was an experienced seaman, wise in all the ways of the sea when he made himself responsible for the fate of the survivors of the William Brown. A score of those survivors present here in court have testified that he saved them. But he also saved himself. And there were 18 other human beings on the good ship William Brown who might now be alive. Where are they? Her husband. That child's father. That woman's only son. Where are they? They are not here to testify because they were destroyed willfully and intentionally by the hand of this man. 18 human souls. 19, if we include Lieutenant Tarleton, whose violent death has been described here by his sister, Margaret Tarleton. Keeping this in mind, we can understand why the prisoners had no word to say in his own defense. Even his wise and experienced counsel have been able only to weakly claim that he saved as many as he killed. Well, let us examine the record of the prisoner for evidence to support this claim to philanthropy. What is his profession? A slaver. When he sailed on the William Brown, it was upon slave trade business. Do these facts present to you a philanthropist? A generous, warm-hearted saver of human lives? They do not. They present him for what he is, an incredibly selfish, intolerably callous mass murderer.
He isn't! He isn't a murderer! Your Honor, I was there, I saw it!
Silence! The jury has heard your testimony. Be still.
I can't, I mustn't! He saved my life, he saved my mother's life. And he saved her life, too. And mine.
And mine, too.
It's murder to take a life, even to save your life. Or yours.
It was a godlike thing to do.
Nobody but God has the right to do it. You can't save some by killing others.
Well, what would you have done if you'd been there in Taylor's place?
Not what he did.
Consulted Blackstone first?
I don't have to stand for this insolence,
Then
sir.
sit down!
Gentlemen, please. Officers, bailiffs, clear the courtroom. The unanimous verdict of the jury finds the prisoner guilty as charged. The prisoner will be removed to his cell until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, at which time the court will pronounce sentence.
If it please the court, as an agent of Her Majesty the Queen of England, I beg you to permit me to make a statement concerning this case. Here are my credentials.
This seems somewhat unusual, but if you have any additional light to throw on this affair, I'm sure the court will be very pleased. Proceed, Mr. Woodley.
There are certain circumstances connected with the prisoner's past which Her Majesty's government feels should be brought to this honorable court's attention before sentence is passed. It is true that Michael Taylor was involved in the African slave trade. His career first came to my government's attention when he was captured aboard a slave ship.
To die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep, to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that the flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep perchance to dream.
Nuggin!
Oh, same old nightmare, huh?
Yep. I dreamt I fell into the water again. I was going down for the third time when you swam up and saved me. Thanks, Nuggin.
Tell me something. Being as you're so scared of the water, what made you follow the sea for a living?
To prove to myself that I wasn't afraid of the water. But I am. What you been reading?
The Tragedy of Hamlet.
What's it about?
Well, it's about a man who couldn't make up his mind. That's the tragedy.
Can't make up his mind to what?
He couldn't make up his mind whether to live or die. To be or not to be. Just like those blacks down there below deck. Most of them can't make up their minds whether they want to live or die.
That's what you get for reading those books. It softens you up. Trouble with you is you're getting too sentimental.
You're the one that's sentimental.
I am not.
If you're not sentimental, why are you wearing your mother's wedding ring in your ear?
Well, that? Oh, that's only because, when I run short of money, Captain Gramley must be laying it on him again.
Yeah.
I'll teach you to be quiet down there. Be quiet, you black
Well, looks like you got him shut up again.
Powdah, Mr. Taylor, they got Captain Granley down the hall. He fell in and they got him.
Get the medicine, get some more.
Aye, sir.
done yet. Powdah, you take charge of the ship. Taylor, you help him. And when you reach Savannah, turn the ship's log and papers over to Updike and Morgan. But if the British sight you, destroy them. Unless you get a chance to turn them over to Jay.
Did you hear what he was trying to say? Sounded like a name.
I didn't catch it.
I suppose I ought to feel sorry for Captain Granley, but I'm not. If the blacks hadn't got him, one of the crew would.
What's our course?
Due west.
I'd shift it to north by west.
Well, that'd bring us up by Secondi. Say, Nuggin, don't you remember what they told us at Lagos? Come here. Look, Captain Granley's got it written right here on the chart. There's an English patrol ship off Secondi.
Exactly. Did you ever study strategy, Powdah?
I never studied nothing.
Well, suppose you wanted to hide a tree.
A tree? How could you hide a tree?
In the forest.
But this patrol ship ain't in the woods.
Well, maybe not, but... Well, how many times have you been chased by a policeman?
More times than you can count.
Well, then you ought to know it's much safer to follow a policeman than to have him following you.
I never thought of that. What's your course?
Due west, sir.
Bring her up north by west.
Aye, sir.
If we do sight the English patrol, we can outsail her.
Sure we can. Nuggin, do you ever think I'll have brains like you?
My thumbs are slipping. I don't want to die in the water. I don't want to. Shut up! But if my thumbs pull out of here, I'll fall in the water. I can't stand it, I tell you. Shut up! Oh.
You, Mr. Talon, what do you think?
I think we're wasting time, sir.
Really? And you're advising the matter?
Drop them into the sea, just as they did with their own human cargo before we boarded their ship.
A hearted suggestion, but unfortunately it might be frowned upon as murder.
Murder, but they're common slavers, sir. They were bound from the River Gaboon to Havana. Ships don't leave the Gold Coast with empty holds.
I'm not commending the law, I'm merely upholding it. There was no tangible evidence of slaves, so consequently, the men must hang by their thumbs until we reach Liverpool.
Cut us down. We'll talk.
Have the gentleman cut down, Mr. Belton.
Aye, sir.
We picked up Nuggin here off the Gold Coast while we were waiting for a capital train of slaves. Nuggin's ship foundered in the shoals of the Delaware, and our captain signed him with the crew. He's pretty green. He don't know he's signed up for a slave ship until he's aboard. Then it's too late. We're 3 days out to sea when them slaves start making trouble. Sucking blood, you know. We call it making sangaree. So they take an oath to stick together. When the captain hears this, he reaches for his whip. He goes down below and puts the nine tails across their backs. And one of them slaves grabs a shackle bolt loose and rams it right through the captain's head from ear to ear. So that makes me captain, see? But I don't like responsibility. So, Nuggin Taylor here, he gets the job.
I see. And how many slaves did you throw overboard?
None.
That's a lie.
Dad, I want the truth of this, Taylor.
I'm giving you the truth. I had 600 slaves aboard, and they hadn't asked to be there. When night came, I hugged the coast and allowed them to swim ashore.
Why? Why did you do that?
Because I can't see people die.
That's funny. Slaver, and he doesn't like to see people die.
It's Tarleton.
But surely, sir, you don't believe this trumped-up story?
You don't question his ability to outsail us, do you?
No, sir, but...
Well, then, if he could have outsailed us, he wouldn't be here. He is here, so obviously he's telling the truth. Do you still doubt him?
I'm certain of one thing, sir. He's the original captain of the Blackbird.
The captain of the Blackbird was Paul M. Granley.
Well, now I know he's lying because Paul M. Granley is one of the richest men in the slave trade business and personally supervises a trading post.
Yes.
You seem to know the name pretty well.
Well, anyone connected with the sea knows of Paul Granley?
I don't. I've never heard of the man.
The log and papers, sir, from the Blackbird.
Yes. Have them red taped and sealed to be delivered to the proper authorities when we land.
Yes, sir.
Slim Lucy Lister, yo-de-yo-de-yo. I never kissed her, yo-de-yo-de-yo. Lanky Lucy Lister, I never kissed her, but she had a sister, yo-de-yo-de-yo. Plump Sadie Danker, yo-de-yo-de-yo. Hung like an anchor.
Unusual procedure, an English officer bringing water to prisoners.
But I happen to have certain regrets about my action this afternoon.
Pay me.
You're the luckiest fellow I ever knew.
Now, look here. I came down here to, well, sort of apologize. And I met by insolence. I don't like insolence.
What do you like?
I don't know whether you think you're being funny or not.
You thought nothing of taking advantage of your position to insult us, and now you come to see us. Why? You would like to know if I was with Captain Paul M. Granley when he died. Was he conscious? Did he betray anything before he passed away? England has a monopoly on your kind, Mr. Tarleton. There are sons of rich parents in America who also look upon the trafficking in human flesh as business. Sooner or later, you'll get caught, but it's not my business to catch you. A year on a slave ship wouldn't do you any harm. Get the stench of the slave deck in your nostrils. Rub shoulders with fowlers and gamblers who've got scurvy and mouth rot. You never heard of ophthalmia. Captives of white men get it. They go blind. The floor of the ocean is paved with the bones of slaves. And now Mr. Tarleton offers his apology.
Well, that's the second bet you won. But there's a third.
That you didn't know as many verses as I.
That's a bad bet, my friend.
Sweet Gertie Garber, yo-de-yo-de-yo. She married a barber, yo-de-yo-de-yo. Sweet Gertie Garber married a barber, but she'll be at the harbor, yo-de-yo-de-yo. But she'll be at the harbor, yo-de-yo-de-yo. But she'll be at the harbor, yo-de-yo-de-yo.
The captain and the mate of the Blackbird are to be held.
Yes, sir.
Upper crust. A fluffy duck. Gotta plop them kind.
Stan!
Sis.
Stanley.
Margaret, the last time I saw you, you were beautiful. Now you're twice as much.
Silly.
But observing. All right, Henry. Oh, incidentally, hello.
Yes, sir. And hello to you, sir. Skip-a-doo now. Get along. Skip-a-doo.
According to my report, the Blackbird was chased before. You ought to be congratulated, Captain. She easily outsailed every other patrol ship.
She outsailed me, too. Until the next morning, after she'd taken her own time to dump her slave cargo.
Are you suggesting by any chance that the Blackbird was thrown into your hands?
Most of her crew were familiar. The first mate, Powdah, was a well-known slaver. This man, Taylor, he's new to us.
He's not new to the slave trade.
Huh?
Last year, he was master of the schooner Bennington when she sailed from Boston with trade goods to West Africa.
I remember her. She burned off Lobos.
Lloyd's protested the insurance and proved that when she burned, she was about to take on a cargo of slaves.
Well, that should remove all doubt about his being a slaver.
However, about 2 months later, a man answering Taylor's description was deck officer on the Esmeralda when she ran ashore in broad daylight, permitting over 1,000 slaves to escape.
Are you, by any chance, suggesting that Captain Taylor is waging a kind of private war against the slave trade?
You find that preposterous?
I find it very mysterious.
At any rate, it's worth a little further investigation.
I've been in a lot of jails, but this is the first time I've been paid to get out of one. When that patrol ship took us, I was worried some about maybe you wasn't so smart as I thought. But look how it's come out. Here we are, we're well off as we took that stinking cargo all the way to Savannah. You were certainly right about that strategy. They wasn't expecting us to tell the truth, so when we did, they didn't believe us.
Beware the Greeks bearing gifts.
What Greeks?
Well, at the siege of Troy, the Greeks left a big wooden horse outside the city.
What for?
Well, that's what the Trojans wondered. After they pulled the horse inside the gates, the horse opened up and the Greek soldiers jumped out. And Troy fell.
There you go, getting sentimental again. I ain't interested in horses, but I could get excited about a horse's neck.
There you are. That'll warm the cockles of your heart, sir.
Bet in that bilge water, eh?
Yeah. Now in chess. When your opponent shoves up a pawn that looks like a present, it might be a mistake, and then again it might be a trap.
Is that all you can think about? Hey, look at that one over there. The one with the honey-colored hair.
Is that all you can think about?
Sure, I've been thinking about that all the time I was on the Blackbird. How can you talk about chess at a time like this?
It's a wonderful game.
Hiya.
Hello. There's a gentleman upstairs who wants to see you.
Already?
I'll show you.
Among other things, I'm thirsty. So if you'll come over with me and my friend,
I think your friend has other plans.
I wonder if she plays chess.
Come in. My name's Woodley, Mr. Taylor. Barton Woodley, British Intelligence.
Thank you very much, Mr. Woodley, for getting me out of jail.
Don't mention it. Sit down, won't you?
No, thanks.
Brandy? Cigar?
No, thanks.
Mr. Taylor, you were a ship's officer on the Blackbird.
Is that a question?
No, a fact.
Mr. Woodley, your manners are those of a gentleman. But your methods are the old, familiar ones of a policeman, the same the world over.
Sorry. I should try and change my methods.
I suggest you come right to the point.
Now, it occurred to me when I heard Captain Marticel's story that the fate of the Blackbird was quite interesting. Someone on board was either incredibly stupid or else desired her capture. You don't seem to me a stupid man. I've been studying you these last few minutes, and I'm an excellent judge of character.
Then you should know I'm not a stool pigeon. I have no intention of helping you convict either me or my friends. Good day, Mr. Woodley.
Is that still your last word?
What difference does it make? Jail today or jail tomorrow?
I can't let this opportunity pass. It may never come again. Possibly I am mistaken in you, and yet no other man will do. Will you come with me?
With or without them?
Without, and by this door. Please. I can assure you, Mr. Taylor, that you're the first slaver that has ever stood in this room. On that map is plotted the course of every English patrol ship. Across this desk come reports of every slave ship picked up or sunk, of every slaver hanged. Do I interest you?
What interests me more is why you persist in regarding me as a Quaker or an abolitionist.
I don't regard you as anything. I don't care what you are. You're the only man in the world who can do what I want done. If you were a thief, a traitor, or a complete scoundrel, you'd still be the only one.
Well, no harm in denying the thief or the scoundrel.
Mr. Taylor, I am about to destroy years of labor or to crown that labor with a success. It's a gamble involving not only my own career, but the imperial policies of England. I'm taking this risk in the hope of dealing the slave trade a mortal blow. Do you recognize these?
The log and the papers of the Blackbird.
Which you so studiously neglected to destroy. But amongst them is this letter of instructions from Captain Granley to his associates in Savannah. In it, he gives the secret routes to be followed by every one of his ships during the next 3 months. To you alone could Granley conceivably have handed over such a letter before he died. If you deliver it in Savannah...
There'll be an English patrol ship laying in wait for every slaver that sails.
Precisely. Does that interest you, Mr. Taylor?
Very much.
Thank God I'm a stubborn man. And you too.
Don't you fellas in this sort of work have ways of altering documents like this?
Yes.
Because this letter deals only with ships leaving Africa during the next 3 months. If you could fix it to cover the next 6 months, you could get a crack at every slaver that Granley controlled.
Yes, why don't you take a seat, Mr. Taylor? Cigar?
there?
Me, let me in.
Did you get the Blackbird's papers?
No, not even a look at them.
They've probably got them over at the Admiralty now, reading them.
Oh, don't worry. There can't be anything in Granny's letters to implicate you.
But, my dear friend, we're partners. Your misfortune is mine.
Well, how soon can I sail for America?
America?
Yes, America.
Why, I think there's a packet sailing at dawn. But do you actually think they could arrest you?
Oh, there are much more important things than that. Do you realize that with fortunes to be had, we've been wasting our time running a threepenny tipster service?
But even that's gone now, with Granley dead.
Yes, but his business is still alive. Supposing I go to Savannah with the news of Granley's death. Doesn't it occur to you that I can get hold of all the connections before the competitors can get wind of it?
There'd be $1 million in it.
Is this ship tomorrow fast?
Well, it's the William Brown. It's supposed to be the fastest passenger packet on the Atlantic.
She is, eh?
Yeah.
Then buy her tonight.
What?
Buy her tonight. Keep it quiet. Just arrange to have it delivered to me the moment I arrive with her in Philadelphia.
Yes.
She'll not only get me to Savannah first, but the Slave Coast next. She'll get us that $1 million, all right. How would $1 million suit you, Mr. Pecora?
Very, very well.
Well, get busy and arrange about the boat. I'll see you on the dock.
Ah.
Here's your ticket, sir. And she sails at dawn.
Did you propose to take your friend with you?
Well, I'd like to.
Yes, I quite agree. His company will help brand you as a slaver. And naturally, till your work is finished, you must be known as one.
I understand.
Godspeed.
Thank you. You see what happened to my friend?
Which one was he?
Well, the fellow that was sitting right over there with the dark-haired girl.
Oh, him. He went out with her.
Where'd he go?
I wouldn't be knowing. Said he was looking for you.
Tomorrow?
Well, where do you think he went?
Now I remember. He wasn't looking for you. He was looking for a girl for you.
I've got to find him. When he comes back, tell him to wait here for me. Tell him I'm sailing for America this morning.
America?
Yeah. My friend been here?
Yes. 28, 29, 30.
Well, where is he now?
He went away again. 38.
Did you tell him I was going to America?
Yes, I told him.
Well, what'd he say?
He says to tell you if you're going to America, he's going to Peru. 35, 36, 37. 46, 47, 48, 49, 50.
Can I have a piece of paper?
Yes, certainly. Pencil?
Thanks. Will you give this to him when he comes back, please?
All right. Put them up.
Henry.
Milady, Sir Walter Raleigh only offered his cape. This is my complete wardrobe.
Oh, sir.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute, please.
Please remove this thing.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to help you across the...
My shoe. Yeah, I can do it.
The third door on the right is Mr. Tarleton's cabin.
Thank you.
Why, Margaret.
Stanley. You mustn't do this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Henry told me. I don't want you to go to America, Stanley. I don't want you to give up everything.
Mrs. Tarleton, I'm Pecora, your brother's friend. Mr. Tarleton is not motivated by rashness. He has a most important mission. I do hope and pray that your coachman didn't tell you of this in the presence of your guests.
He told only me. Stanley, what is this? Why are you going to America?
Well, Mr. Pecora just told you. My orders were to leave immediately. I didn't have time to explain to you.
Pardon me. I think it would be better if you told her alone. Good night, Miss Tarleton. Good night. Oh, yes. My apologies, Miss Tarleton, but secret orders must be secretly given. Do you mind?
Excuse me.
You must take her to America with you.
How the devil can I do that?
She must not leave this ship. She's a woman. She will talk.
So what about the coachman?
I'll take care of him. Pecora and Tarleton. Good luck, my boy.
Sweet Susie Sample, yo-de-yo-de-yo, with cheeks like an apple, yo-de-yo-de-yo. Sweet Susie Sample, with cheeks like an apple, so you are hiding from me, yo-de-yo-de-yo.
Pay me. I'm one up on you.
Oh, Nuggin, you know I don't like water.
Whales, porpoise.
Whales! Whales! Whales, Papa! The whole ocean's full of whales! It's Mama's music.
Yes, Mama's.
You know, you really shouldn't do that. Why don't you let the mud dry first? And then you can just brush it off.
You can? Do you suppose I've ruined it now?
Oh, no. No, but now it would be better if you washed the dress. It's better for the silk.
My, you're quite an expert, aren't you?
Well, I ought to be. I'm a lady's maid. Oh, that is, I was.
Oh.
Oh, maybe I should have told you before they put you in with me.
Well, on the contrary, it was sweet of you to let me come in at all.
Oh, I'm awfully glad to have company. I was afraid I was going to be lonely. I'd be glad to clean the dress for you, if you just change into another.
I'm afraid I can't. I haven't another. I'll have to make the whole journey in this one.
Oh, no, you don't have to do that. I've got some dresses. My mistress gave them to me. Maybe one of them might fit you.
Oh, that's...
Well, of course, if you don't mind.
Mind? Why, I'd be terribly grateful. Is your mistress in this section of the ship?
Oh, no, I'm alone. Maybe I shouldn't have left a good position and go running off into a strange land. But I don't think I would have left England if it weren't for my daughter.
You have a daughter?
Oh, no, not yet. But I'm going to have one someday. And when I do and she grows up, I don't want her to be a lady's maid.
Well, she needn't be.
Well, you see, my grandmother was a lady's maid, and then my mother got to be one. And then me. Well, that's the way it is in England. Maybe it's all right for most people, even for me, but not for my daughter. You think I'm a little bit balmy?
Not at all. I think you're very wise.
Hooray! Hooray! Come hang for fine weather. Hang, boys, hang. They say I hang for money. Hooray! Hooray! But say it's always funny. Hang.
Well, she's pretty fast for such a big ship, isn't she?
She's the fastest thing in these waters, sir.
Well, tell me, how would she compare in speed with, well, say with the English patrol ships?
Why, she can carry 3 times the cargo we got aboard now and show her heels to the best of them.
That's so.
Yep, that's what it looks like to me, a rooster up there. Flapping his wings and screaming at the top of his lungs. Do you know what he's saying? Nope. He's crowing, "Mister, I'm freedom." And do you know what I mean? Nope. Well, you're thick.
Maybe I am thick. But that ain't a rooster, it's a flag.
Well, that's just a figure of speech. I mean, it's loyalty. Something you got, something to look up to.
Look up to? What for?
Did you ever march in a parade with the bugles blowing and the flags waving?
Nope.
You didn't, huh? Well, did you ever... Well, you know what a sunflower is, don't you?
Sure. It grows in backyards.
Ever notice the way it follows the sun?
Uh-huh.
Like that. Always looking up. That's loyalty. Loyal because the sun gives it a reason for living, warms it up and makes it bigger. Does something to it inside, you know.
Nope. And the way you're telling me, I ain't never gonna know. Looks like you're getting sentimental again. Let's get down below where I can get a little grog and I'll get into this thing too. Come on.
Upper crust, they're fluffy duff. You ought to plop them kind.
Oh, no. Not her.
Well, gentlemen, I'm in no mood for jesting today. Come on, release the target.
You heard him. Release the target.
I don't like the way he said it.
Said it. I should have a way to say it. Come on, vite, 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 vite. Allons, allons, allons. Release it.
I still don't like the way he says it.
He doesn't like the way you say it. Can't you tone it down a little? Maybe add a please or something like that?
Imbeciles.
What's that?
Most anything. Fat men who try to sing tenor. It's rude people who waste their lives sticking long needles into sacks.
Enough! Perhaps, gentlemen, you don't quite realize whom you're talking to. I have nicked people's ears for less than that. I am Gaston de Bastonnet, the Gaston de Bastonnet.
An odd title, my gentle-tempered friend.
Title? What title?
The.
The?
The de Bastonnet. Not Mr. de Bastonnet, nor Count, nor Duke, nor Marquis, nor Sir de Bastonnet, just T-H-E.
En garde! Don't forget to write, Mr. V.
Sacrebleu, tonnerre, cochon, le diable! Zut!
So sorry. I was doing a trick and the cards happened to slip out of my hand. Oh, just a minute, please. You're dragging half of my deck with you.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Did I ever tell you about the time I was a stowaway in a cargo of silk?
But how could you? I've never met you before.
Oh, look. It's you. Your card. The second one I picked up off the floor. Sure I met you. Don't you remember I saw you,
On the boat, you mean?
Nope, in the sky.
Sky?
A year ago, 2 years ago, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. What difference does it make? You know poetry?
Poetry?
The dawn awoke like a troubled soul that had cried the night. Well, anyway, there you were.
In the sky, you mean?
Yeah, right out of the heaven. And you were the sunshine. And just like that, there was no more trouble, no more tears. They call me Powdah. Does that suggest anything to you?
Why, yes, it does. You want to know my name.
Let's sit down.
But weren't you afraid fighting so many at one time?
Me afraid? I had my sword, and after all, there was only 10 of them. They came at me through the cane brakes and across the swamp. All of them with knives as long as my arm. And what did I do? You know what I did? I'll show you. I stood with my back up against an oak tree, and I threw the war cry right back in their teeth.
Sadie Danker, yo-de-yo-de-yo, she hung like an anchor.
It's getting a little stuffy in here, don't you think? Let's go up on deck.
Anchor, marry the banker, oh, how I can thank her, yo-de-yo-de-yo.
Thank you.
Well, it's quite all right. I assure you.
I'm quite capable of taking care of myself, thank you.
Here, the C's all very simple once you get the hang of it. Now you put one hand there, and the other hand here. Now you hang on. Now we have it. Can I help?
I need no help, sir, for what I'm about to do.
Oh, but in this case you do. Yes, ma'am.
Please.
You'll be very thankful for what I'm going to do for you. Look, this is Cali Sagi. The Gambos make it. They make it of roots and bark and herbs and a whole lot of stuff.
Oh, sir, go away.
It's as potent as all get out, but it'll certainly stop that nausea.
I'm sorry, I don't want any. Please.
There's one
funny thing about this. It's liable to give you the hiccups. Go on.
Well, yes, I beg pardon.
What the devil do you think you're... Oh. Well, how are your thumbs? Better?
Much. And your conscience?
Quite undisturbed, thank you. Let's see, I think the last time I saw you...
We won't go into that now.
Well, since it concerns my sister, I don't see why not. Sister?
Stanley, he was only trying to cure my seasickness. I think he did.
Kalasagi, the natives,
Oh, rubbish. Now, look here, Taylor, I don't want any more nonsense from you. You're the type of man who's likely to...
But Stanley, he was only...
I don't care what he was... I'm telling you what he is. He's a common slaver, regardless of what my superior officer's opinion of him might have been.
Oh, is he the man who...
Yes, who hung from the halyards by his thumbs. Now, look here, Taylor. I warn you that I don't want a man like you. I said that I don't want a man like...
You mean a man like you think I am? You're just as insulting out of that uniform as in it.
Who do you think I just seen up on the deck? Oh, so you know that. And that fluffy duff that gave you the eye on the dock, she was with him. Oh, so you know that too?
She's his sister.
Well, you better be remembering what you told me about looking out for the Greeks when they got horses to give you. I don't know what your game is. It's all the same to me, whatever it is. But if there's anything you want done...
Listen, there's just one thing you can do for me.
What's that?
Two things. Sit still and be still.
It's, all right if I twiddle my thumbs.
Come in.
Pardon me, gentlemen. I've come to apologize again. I'm very sorry, Mr. Taylor, for my quite unnecessary rudeness. I know we've rubbed one another the wrong way each time we've met, but I see no reason why we shouldn't, well, have a new start and be friends.
I like the idea of a new start.
Since we're both going to America, I thought perhaps I might be able to be of some service to you. You having just lost your ship. For instance, I've some very good connections in Savannah.
So you're going to Savannah?
Now, don't be stupid. You know perfectly well what I'm talking about. You were there when Granley died, I know, but that doesn't give you the opportunity to interfere with me. You understand?
You speak very distinctly.
Think it over. Take your time.
What ails you, Nuggin? I ain't never seen you stand for anything like that before. You sick? Maybe it's something yet.
No, it's not something I had. It's something I promised her.
Do you mind if I use this?
No, help yourself.
Thanks. Say, what was that piece of poetry you rattled off to me once?
Poetry?
Yeah, you know, the dawn awoke like a...
Oh, that.
Yeah, that's it. What was the next line in it? The dawn awoke like a troubled soul that had cried the night before. And a song of love from the rising wind. Why? Why? Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking.
Who is she?
Oh, Nuggin, you ought to see her. In all my life, the dawn awoke like a troubled soul. She thought it was beautiful.
Of course, you told her you stole it.
Well, you see, we got talking about so many other things, and she thought it was so marvelous to be a merchant of the high seas. She's dark, too, just like me.
He's a merchant of the high seas with plenty of ships that carry cotton and copper, and oh, so many things I forget.
You didn't forget anything when you were describing him to me. Dark hair, dark eyes, handsome, wears a ring in his ear. Doesn't that seem rather odd, a merchant with a ring in his ear?
Oh, no, not at all. Not when I tell you about it. You see, it was his mother's wedding ring, and he says when he gets married, that is, if he ever
finds the right girl.
Or something like that. Oh, Miss Margaret, I've never been so happy in all my life.
It must be wonderful to be that happy.
Why should you believe what other people tell you? You've never even spoken to him.
But a slaver, Babsy.
Miss Margaret, suppose he isn't. You'd never forgive yourself. Would you?
Then back into the blockhouse, boy, said Pete, the one-eyed scout. There's danger in them yonder woods. There's Mohawks all about. They're armed and painted up for war. They'll strike before the dawn. Protect your wives and children, men. To duty. Carry on. A startled deer on Damon's Peak gazed wide-eyed at the fray. Saw.
Carnage.
Carnage?
Saw carnage wrought. Heard Indians yell until the break of day. Is that right?
Sure, that's right. You know all of it.
Uh-huh. I'll begin with the deer. The startled deer on Damon's Peak stared wide-eyed at the fray, saw carnage wrought, heard Indians yell until the break of day. The earth reached up to kiss the sun, found peace in Shattuck's glade, and of the Mohawks there were none, for a history had been made. Don't move. The moon's right behind your head.
I want to thank you.
Thank me for what? For what I said about the moon?
No. No, I want to thank you for what you did for me.
What I did for you? What was it?
Seasickness. You were very nice to me. That's what I want to thank you for. So, thank you very much.
But why hurry away?
Please, I'd rather you didn't follow me.
But listen, this is serious. You need someone to look after you.
What's serious?
Well, this seasickness. Do you realize that millions of people get it? And what happens? They get worse. Oh, yes, they do. It practically wrecks them. Would you mind telling me your name? You do, huh? Well, the people that know me don't get seasick. No, sirree. I just give them Kelly Saggy and boom, it's all gone. Do you know where I get it? Right in the heart of darkest Africa. You want to know how I get it? I have to fight and struggle and tear my way through dense forests.
Please, I'd rather...
Not till I'm finished. I'm a man of few words.
You certainly don't talk like it. Now, I came out on deck to thank you for being nice to me. You're just spoiling everything. You're acting like a child.
How old? I mean... I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I offended you at any time. I didn't mean to. My name's Michael.
Mine's Margaret.
It's a lovely evening, isn't it?
Is it?
Beautiful.
And I have to confess to you because it's the only honest thing to do. You told me about yourself, who you were and what you did. A merchant of the high seas. Somebody who means something in this world. I've told you nothing. Who I was and where I came from.
You don't have to. I know. You came from the...
From the sky. That was so nice. And I'll never forget it. But What you don't know, Powdah, is that I'm a servant, a lady's maid. I mean, I was. I was going to America just to... I'm sorry, Powdah.
Did I ever tell you about the sunflower? It looks up into the sun, just like I'm doing to you. But the sun ain't nothing. And you are. You're Babsy. Now I had him at the end of the carpet. He made one terrific lunge at me, but you don't know Gaston de Bastogne. You know what happened? You make me very nervous. You don't mind if I say it. Please, listen to me. I lunged at him.
Say, the captain's entertaining a few choice friends. Don't you tell a soul, but he decided you two are the choicest.
But, Captain, we have...
Don't pay no attention to him, Captain. He's awfully shy, and he don't drink.
You come along, too. Come on, everybody. We'll have some fun. Come on.
Come on.
Blades and foils are my attire.
Well, gentlemen,
I hope to teach
I brought you a few more hundred guests.
Bonsoir.
Sit right down next to your brother, will you, Mr. Harrington? Go on, sit down. Miss, will you sit over there opposite Mr. de Bastogne? And you, gentlemen, sit right down there, will you, please? Have a good time. Go ahead, make yourselves at home. Sit down. You know, folks, as captain of this ship, I'm supposed to be the law. But do you think that means anything to my crew? It doesn't.
Please tell me.
6 horns are the finest cheese.
I'm having such a good
We left
time.
Liverpool, but they steal, ladies and gentlemen, they steal. Mr. de Bastogne, you're very good with a blade. Will you slice the cheese, please? And now for the wine.
So you laugh because I tell you that dueling is a business, eh? Well, look, if the Creoles wish to settle all the disputes only with a blade, well, then who am I that I should not wish to return to New Orleans and become a very rich man, although dueling is unlawful, eh?
It seems to me that everybody who goes to America becomes a rich man. It's a very comforting thought. Think I'll like it, Mr. Taylor?
Especially the North. Despite de Bastogne's glowing picture, I wouldn't advise you to go to the South.
Not even Savannah?
Definitely not Savannah.
Oh, mais non, Monsieur, I don't mean to insult you, Mr. Taylor, but you are speaking from an empty head. Savannah is beautiful, of course, not as divine as New Orleans, but parole d'honneur, beautiful, very beautiful.
What do you think, Captain?
Oh, it's a fair enough city to the eye, but I never feel comfortable there. You know, I'm a bit sentimental about the old William Brown, and I never welcome a harbor where she has to lay too near some ship that stinks of slaving.
But a lot of people look on slaving as a perfectly legitimate business. Mr. Taylor, it might be interesting to know the viewpoint of somebody actually engaged in it. They don't look on slaving as a criminal occupation, do they?
No, they don't. But they do consider it a dirty business. Hardly an occupation for a gentleman. And certainly no surroundings into which to take a woman.
You're speaking from personal experience, of course.
Naturally. Wait a minute, you upset something. I knew a young fellow once, young and rather handsome, somewhat like yourself. He made the mistake of taking a woman, his wife, with him to his trading post at the mouth of the River Bimbi in West Africa. You wouldn't understand what that young woman saw, nor what she went through. But she went stark, raving mad and stuck her head into a cauldron of boiling palm oil.
Excuse me. Please keep your seats.
Oh, I seem to have offended him.
Miss Margaret. I'm sorry. How could you sit...
Miss Tarrant, Nuggin, Mr. Taylor. He didn't mean to hurt
I
you.
don't
He
know
only
what he
said that
said.
because he wanted to.
My brother was right. No one but a real slaver could have talked the way he did.
You mean you think he's a slaver? Your brother didn't tell you why he was aboard this ship,
I
did
don't
he?
want to talk about
But
it.
I do. I'll talk and you listen. He's no slaver. He never has been. I told Nuggin that story. I told him because I was there when it happened. I'm no merchant of the high seas. I never have been. I'm the one that's been a slaver, a worthless good-for-nothing. I thought someday this would all be forgotten. But when things like this happen to the only fella that ever spoke a kind word to me in my life, I ain't fit to be in the same world with him. I'm cheap. I'm no good. I'm nothing. I even stole a piece of poetry to tell you you was beautiful. Babsy, I ain't never loved a girl. Or
I don't care what you've been. Why did you lie?
Oh, well, you mean at the table? Well,
Powdah told me.
Well, Powder's a bit twisted in the head.
Why don't you answer me?
May I ask you a question?
Of course.
Why are you making this voyage with your brother?
Why, there's no mystery about me. My brother was leaving unexpectedly for America, and he just asked me to go along on the spur of the moment. There's nothing odd about it. I'm glad I did it.
So am I. Are you sure you're not making a mistake?
I'm not a helpless child.
Well, but I helped you once out of your carriage, and I helped you with your seasickness. A fellow in China once told me that if you help a person the third time, you become one of the family. I wish I could help you again.
What is it?
I never want to forget a thing about you. But when things start to happen, and things are bound to happen, remember this. There's nothing you could have done to stop it. And nothing is going to stop me. Remember, nothing.
And Papa said because you had been so nice to me, about the poetry, I mean. He said I could give you my Indian toy box if I wanted to. And I want to. It plays music if you press the button. And if you wound it up, it went like this, and this, and this.
I'll bet it's a beauty. But you're not going to give it to me after your father made it just for you and everything.
Oh, yes, I am. And you're going to keep it. Because just like I told Papa, I think you're awful nice. And if I was older, I'd marry you. Now, you stay right here. And when I come back, I'll show you just how it works.
Violence work, man.
Shut the door. Get over there. An unexpected visit, but nonetheless welcome. Where did you get this letter?
You read it. Make your own guess.
I don't have to guess, I know. It's a clever scheme to throw every slave ship in the hands of the British patrol. Very clever, but it won't work. There'll be no one to deliver it.
No?
Only one of us will get to America. It's pretty evident that it won't be you.
Come on! Tag him up! How do you get this boat there? I say you! Stop another road there between the fire and those skeletons.
I can't take one of you. I'll come back for it.
Don't leave me, Powdah.
I won't.
In the sky. Yeah. Two. Few minutes. What difference does it make? You meant it, didn't you, Powdah?
Then and always, Babsy. You and me.
Oh, Powdah. You made me so happy.
You are? Did I ever tell you about the time I was a pirate off the China Seas? China Seas? Babsy. Babsy.
Gone from the cabin.
Get that boat! Don't let him get away with that boat! That's the only lifeboat left! on this boat and die like a rat.
If you start a panic, you'll swamp this boat and you'll all drown.
He's right. Leave the boat alone so everybody can go.
Pull me in, will you? The main saloon. Get all the food you can find, and in the companionway there's a keg of water. Bring it.
A maniac. He's mad. If he lives, not one of us will get a chance to escape.
Nuggin. Where's Babsy? Get in the boat.
There ain't any more room anyway.
Come on, get in the boat.
Nuggin, I just found out what you meant about sunflower. You know it. There's your safety. He's something to look up to.
with clothes in there. Plug up those holes. Get out the oars. Help him. Hey, we gotta have room to work. Somebody get over this line. Get over this line. We gotta have... You gotta have more room. Get over it. Hang on there. Don't foul the oars. Don't foul the oars. Hang on to the gunnel. Hang to the gunnel. Don't fail. Get off the spar, you'll capsize. Get off the spar, hang on to the gunnel. Get fore and aft. Get off the spar.
With a determination that nothing could weaken, he brought that frail craft to safety. Then he went on to Savannah to finish his appointed task. When he decided to save his own life, it was to further a great cause. Later, in this same room, and faced with the danger of losing more than life, he made not the slightest move to save himself. I humbly crave the court's forgiveness for withholding my statement until now. But the very nature of our endeavor made secrecy until the last moment imperative. I thank the court for its courtesy in hearing me. There is no hand except my sovereign's that I would feel more honored in taking. To you, Michael Taylor, I am authorized to express my country's gratitude. You'll be glad to know that since your arrest, the African slave trade has suffered a series of blows from which it can never recover.
If the court pleases, the government joins with counsel for the defense in moving that the prisoner be granted a new trial.
The motion is granted. The prisoner is remanded to the custody of the sheriff.